Howdy, y'all. And yes, I need a haircut. So, it's been a while since I made a video, like a general life video. So, I've been getting getting comments on a lot of my old videos, and it just made me think about like how much my life has changed in the last 5 to 6 months. People are still giving me advice on stuff, and even though I wasn't really looking for advice, I was just vlogging kind of my mindset, my goals. Um, it's funny. A lot of people's giving me like all kinds of advice, and a lot of it is kind of bad advice. Some of it's good, but a lot of people have their certain viewpoints on what people should do or what somebody in my position should do. It's like lose weight and all of this and yada 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 and basically have no life. Don't play video games. Do nothing but self improvement. Every step of this, every second of the day. It's crazy stuff like that. A lot of the comments I just don't agree with. Honestly, like I said, the ones I was talking about with the weight. No, I just replied to somebody who was like, "Oh, weight matters. You wouldn't want to be with a big woman, would you? Um, they would have bad hygiene, wouldn't lead in sex." And I'm like, no. Um, for one, I like big girls. Always have. That's one reason I've always struggled to lose weight. Because I'm like to myself, thinking to myself, I was like, well, I like big girls anyway, so I would think they would like me too, or at least there would be girls out there that like big guys, which is true to a point, but it's still very difficult. You have to be kind of a good-looking, bigger guy. A lot of people, well, before I get into that, but continuing what I was saying, I've never dated a girl that has bad hygiene. Now, some maybe they might sweat, after a while, but I've always been with like never had a dirty, nasty girl before. Nasty lifestyle. My second ex had a kind of a nasty upkeep in the house. That's one reason we broke it, or one of the many things that led to us breaking up is I got so fed up with her never taking care of the place we lived at, so it was always up to me to do. And it just stuff like that really led to kind of bitterness between us. Um, I like to be in a clean environment. I'm not like a super clean guy. My apartment's like I pretty much I like pre-wash my dishes. I don't want to keep dirty dishes in the house, so I like. I don't feel like doing them every day. I'm tired after work, so I'll just like wash them out or leave them in water and kind of leave them ready to just like rinse out. Then I'll soap them up at the end of the week. I reuse dishes a lot. I'm not like I said, it's just me in the apartment. My girlfriend comes in on the weekends, um, so I do the dishes before she gets here, and like I said, I just keep it clean. I don't even sweep and mop really. I think I mopped for the first time, and all I did was really just used a wet mop. Like this whole disinfectant stuff is nonsense. I haven't got sick since 2018 until last week. Me and my girlfriend, we both got sick from something. I don't know if it was food poisoning or a virus. We went to several haunted houses. We also went to a monster truck show that she wanted me to take me to. So that was the first time I went to monster trucks, which was pretty cool. It was actually a lot of fun. Not the biggest monster truck guy, but seeing them in person is pretty cool. Definitely wear earplugs. It's a lot louder than I anticipated, or I didn't even expect it to be so loud. So I had to plug my ears nearly the entire time. Even the quad bikes, the four wheelers, they was loud too. Um, but yeah, I just definitely disagree. Is like weight matters to the majority of people, but For people like me, and that's the type of people I would go after when I was dating. Um, was people I was just looking for that girl that liked bigger guys, that liked the average to lower average, below average guy. And a lot of people's like, "Oh, you're average looking, or you're not bad looking," and it's like, well, I definitely ain't getting that, or I haven't really got the most selection in women, for that's for sure. Part of that's to do with like my social skills. I would say that's probably the majority of the reason why I've had a trouble dating most of my life. But when it comes to online, it's exclusively looks based. Um, of course, granted, online, even good looking guys have trouble. Um, you got to not only be good looking online, you have to look important. You have to look rich. You have to be in the parameters. You have to be the right size, height. You have to be the right color. You have to be the right social status. You have to be making a certain amount of money. You have to have certain love of interests. There's so many things that come into play. Women are picky as hell. But like I said, since then I've gotten a girlfriend. It started out rocky because I wasn't sure if I wanted to be in a relationship. I wasn't sure, how I felt about her. But 5 months down the road, I kept just giving it a shot, not pushing her away because I was really not feeling it at first. And eventually, I really appreciated her more and more and more, and I started becoming more attracted to her physically more and more and more. And I realized I fell in love with her, and we've been happier than ever, and it's been the best relationship I've ever had. And I'm definitely content right now. She travels an hour and a half every single weekend just to see me. She takes care of me, feeds me, all that kind of stuff, and she just takes care of me in every way. And she is so supportive. We watch, we do a lot together. We like swimming. We like haunted houses. She likes Christmas stuff, so I'm gonna have to look forward to that. I like Christmas to a point. Christmas is better when you have somebody loving to share it with. As a single guy, Christmas never really mattered to me, but having like a woman in your life that loves Christmas, that's a whole different story. Whole different story. Weight wise, I've been trying to just maintain my weight. Like I said, I'm content. I have no reason to really lose weight other than health. And I feel all right, but I'm getting a little out of control with the sugar. She's been making me a lot of sweets, and we ate candy because it was on sale, the after Halloween sale, and she bought a shit ton of candy. And she's kind of spoiling me rotten with all this sugar, and I'm like, it gets to the point where you're so happy and content, and it's just so. And then she feeds me these TikTok recipes that she's finding, and other recipes that she's finding all over the internet. It's just like she's cooking me these great meals, and it's just like she's spoiling me rotten for sure. And she's just so damn sweet. And I was like, the one thing that I was like, after my last relationship, which was about a year ago, yeah, exactly a year ago, we broke up. And I was just like so against being in a relationship. And I was kind of like, I was really wanting to have sex, like casually. I wanted to just like, I gave up on the idea of love for one thing. And number two is like, I just like the idea of like getting in the best shape and having like all my bucket list of like sexual partners. I just wanted to like get the number up as high as I could. Just because that's all I really had to look forward to in life. And yeah, like my porn addiction is like always made me kind of like think of it as a game in a way, to where it's like, it would be cool to have sex with this girl and this girl and this girl in this situation and this situation. It would just like, it's such an addiction. And it's just something I'm struggling with even to this day, like kind of bummed out, like thinking about, oh man, I can't have sex with this girl anymore because I'm in a relationship. But it's gotten better. It's gotten so much better, just like little by little over the time, just because I'm so happy and I'm so in love with this girl. Um, everything's just like great. And the thing that really, like I said, that I was really pushing against having a relationship again is just like I did not want to go down this road where all women they change after a while and they all get very bitchy and controlling and selfish after a while. And I didn't believe I don't believe in loyalty anymore or didn't believe in loyalty anymore. I didn't believe in like just like putting me first. You know, it was about, my ex, she had a son, and, it became the son was first, and, she would put little things before me. At first, it wasn't that way. And that's another thing is like, even if everything seems right, how long is that going to last? And so I was trying to put off the idea of like, okay, it's good between me and her, but it's just temporary, right? Until things get kind of boring. But it's just like I have a, I really like started to like truly believe and have faith that this girl's different. This girl is everything I've ever wanted. She's sweet. She's caring. She doesn't fight with me at all. She doesn't argue. The biggest thing that I kept, like I said, I never wanted to go back to, and that's just like a fighting relationship. I do not want that. I do not want to feel like I'm gonna be homeless again. Like I almost was homeless because of her, my ex. Just because we got in so many bad arguments, I just wanted to leave so many times, and it's like, I felt unhappy in the end, especially after she started like accusing me of like the reason her son's acting out is because of me, and that really just like that pissed me off so bad. And there was so many points where it's like I really should have left, but I was scared to. I threatened to leave countless times, but and then she would start to go, "Oh, why you always have to give up on us?" And it's like it was always like she was very like she would always pick at me, especially when she got angry. And she had a bad anger problem at times, not all the time, but basically like every now and then. And then whenever we did fight, she would just like really like try to attack me with words, and just like belittle me a little bit. Not in a flat out disrespectful way, but like in a trying to start fights type of way, just like make me out to be the bad guy a lot. She did that a lot. And a lot when the way I do whenever I get in a fight with somebody is like I don't want nothing to do with you. Like leave me alone until you cool down because I'm not arguing. I don't argue. I don't fight because I don't like the person I become after that. I just get pissed off and I'm just like I'm done right now. You can just like do what you want, but right now I'm done. And just like I want to be quiet and I want to zone out and I want to do something calming like watch YouTube or play a video game or something like that. Just to wind down and get my mind off of it. And then eventually we'll make up. And we did a lot, but then she would start like asking for a breakup, like over little things. Like little things would set her off after a while. After her mom passed away, every little thing set her off. Is like, and eventually, like looking back, is like PTSD. Is like, oh my god, I'm so glad I'm out of that situation. It's like it was scary because it was like, it was like walking on eggshells eventually, and it's like, and then just not knowing what was next. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. And now I'm very grateful to be out of that situation. And looking back, it's like I would never want to go back to that situation again. And my girlfriend now is like, I had to make sure she wasn't going to be like that. Are you going to be the type that'll be angry? And we haven't had a single fight in 7 to 8 months we've been together. Not a single fight, not a single argument. There was a few times she kind of taken me off a little bit, like certain things she said, but It wasn't that bad. It was just like little things I had to learn, you know. But she's so like anti what's the word, non-confrontational, and she doesn't like to be confrontational. And one thing I told her is, do not let me get so content in thinking that everything is okay, because I'm the type of person that if you say something is okay, I will probably, even though I'm very observant, if you act like everything is okay, I will just focus on that, and I won't really make sure you're okay and try to get you to tell me what's wrong when I'm not going to try to pick you apart. I'm just going to try to focus on the good. That's the way I am. I'm just like, I want to focus on the good. I don't want to bring up bad things, like deaths and stuff, and anything that's depressing. But I told her, it's like, if anything's wrong, or if you're not happy with something, please tell me. Just like your best, because I will always assume nothing is wrong, or I'll be super content. Now, the thing with her that I'm scared about is, letting my porn addiction go full throttle again. And so far, it hasn't. I have not fully got back into the porn addiction heavily, like fully. I still have my moments, like even right now, it's like I'm struggling, but at the same time, I still have those limitations that I'm setting upon myself. It's a kind of a balance right now. It's like I could do better, but at the same time, I'm definitely not at my worst, and I'm still have that human quality to me. Like when you're full on like 3 times a day, let's say, watching porn, you're basically a zombie. Your social skills are shot. Your social anxiety is at a well, not everybody's the same way, but for me, my social anxiety was all-time high. I couldn't talk to girls, especially. Couldn't talk to people. I had low self-esteem, no self-worth. I was a people pleaser, and I was just like, I was non-confrontational, and so a lot of these things have really went away since I've discovered Nofap about 5 years ago. And even though I've never truly quit porn, I've definitely cut back on it significantly, to the point where I function as an adult 10,000 times better. I've definitely had better points in time if I'm like focused on self-improvement and stuff like that, but right now I'm very content. I have my limitations. Like when she comes over, I'll try to have a day or so where I'm preparing for her to come over, and that gives me kind of time to recover a little bit. But I definitely need to do better about just kind of getting back to that, because at work I'm struggling about my resting bitch face. I cannot stand my coworkers. They are brown nosers. They're complainers, whiners. I do not like them. They're just like, they're followers. They obsess over the rules and stuff like that, and like, oh, don't do this or the boss will get mad, and then they'll start bitching about you and talking shit behind your back and all that, or in front of you. It's just like, and they'll try to boss you around. It's just like, I cannot stand people like that. And people with egos, the egos of like 3 people I work with is insane, and it really drives me batshit crazy. And I'm the type of person, I used to be a people pleaser, right? And this is the complete difference. Like, I used to smile and try to just get along with people, even though I didn't have social skills. I would at least smile, yeah, and try to be aware and like listen to them. And now, the me now, not having it. The girl that is like the number 2 person there, the boss wannabe. Hell, even the guy who is the big boss's son, the CEO's son, I work with. He's like the team leader in training, basically, and he's been there like 3 months before I was, not. I've been there 3 years, but he just started 3 months on that line. So he's like, "Oh, I've been here longer, so I can tell people what to do." Basically, he's not a complete asshole or anything, but he's definitely like he sees himself as like the leader, and I'm like, for one, the kid is like 22 years old. So I mean, it's hard. It's always hard to take orders from somebody that young. Well, I can understand him leading the way. Fine if they but it's just like it's forced. It's like he's being godfathered into the role, and he's not suited for it. It's just he's that's basically what's going to happen, whether he deserves it or not. He's good at listening and good at playing. Like he's good at speech and communication skills, but he's lazy. He's slow. He gets tired quickly. He isn't that great of a worker. He's good for being somebody that he's surprisingly good for somebody that is the boss's son, silver spoon, and all that. But and the fact that he hasn't quit yet. I mean, hell, not many people can work my job and survive. Like honestly, most people will be like, nah, not for this pay. I mean, I get paid more than like the average, I guess, but still. Um, but yeah, the me now, people try to like this girl that bitching all day long, trying to tell me, you don't do this, you don't do that, and she'll get kind of ill, and then she'll start cussing under her breath about certain things, and it just gets on my nerves so bad, and she'll be telling me stuff, and I'll just look at her like I've literally like she would be like, I don't know if anybody's told you this, but you're not supposed to go past this certain point when you're pulling parts, and I'm just like, I just looked at her and like, kind of had that same face like I have to bite my tongue so much with these people. Like that's my reply. There was one time, she was like, "Don't put the parts here." She said it in a very bitchy tone, and I went from like I was working on the other side, and I came over there to help her, and she said that to me in a very bitchy tone, and I just looked at her and be like, and I just walked off, and stopped helping her immediately. I don't say nothing because it's like my mom. I'm not gonna get fired over something I say, but I'm just gonna be like, I don't want nothing to do with y'all, And she tried to make a joke, yesterday or the day before. I don't want it. I don't. She was like saying she didn't want the parts, and I didn't even look at her, didn't acknowledge her. I just kept moving. Like I could tell she said it in a way where she was trying to grab my attention. I did not acknowledge her at all. And that's the funny part, is like the people pleasing Josh, which is me. The people pleasing version of me is just gone. Like it's crazy. It's like I'm a different person than I was like 5 years ago. But I'm like a lot more confident in myself than I used to be. Like I see myself as smart, and I used to think I was kind of stupid. But I know that I'm actually pretty smart, and I'm a lot smarter than these people. I'm not the best at like I overthink, so it's a little bit harder for me to learn like little things like remembering like part numbers and stuff like that, and I don't really care as much, and I have ADD, so there's a lot of things where it takes me a little more time, and I'm not sure of myself. So I'm still not like the most confident person when it comes to like believing in myself in certain situations. But that's another thing, that when I first started this job, I just got moved to this department. This is the same company I've been working for 3 years, but they was getting slow on one area, so they moved me to this area, which is a lot harder of a job. And one of the things I did was Nofap. And because the thing that Nofap does is it helps you focus, it helps you be smarter, more alert, more your brain's working better. I made sure to drink my coffee that I make every morning, every single day, to make sure I had as much caffeine as I could. Made sure I hydrated. On the weekends, I made sure not to eat a lot of food right before work because I knew I was going to be bloated and tired. I wanted to be my maximum self when I first started this job. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try to be the best version of me. And because I knew that learning is difficult when I have all these issues. I'm tired, have full of sugar and all that stuff. So, not in full of like blood pressure, like salt and stuff. So being fully hydrated, fully caffeinated, sleep, not sleep deprived. So all these things to consider. Oh man, I really do wish I could get a better job for real, but it is what it is. Oh, I do want to get a job closer, but it's like eventually I'm going to move in with my girlfriend. At one point, we haven't really talked about it too much, but like, I mean, it has been a good, like I said, about 7-8 months. So, I do feel like I do want to. I don't want to move in with her just to quit this job. I've thought about that. Like, I was like, all right, I want to quit this job so bad. But I don't want to just do that. I don't want to move in with her just to get out of the job. I don't want to look for excuses like that. Or I didn't want one of the things that I was really not want to be in. I didn't want to be in a relationship with her just to get job security, not job security, security in general, life security. Because being single is scary as shit when you have no family that's alive. And my mom's passed away. My sister lives in Oregon. My aunt's passed away, which I wasn't close to begin with. I'm not close to my dad's side of the family at all. So I have no one in my life to fall back on. When I was living last year was with my coworker that trained me, John. He helped me live in his place for paying to rent a room. So I stayed there before I moved in this apartment. Found this apartment back in the beginning of the year. So he helped me out so I can get out of my ex's house. That's how I wasn't homeless. So it is the scariest thing on earth is the fact that if I lose my job, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I lose my car, if it breaks down, I don't really know. Like, I'm just kind of like stumbling around. I'm not really a true adult because I haven't had, true obstacles in my life. I did have the battery die in my car, but I just thought, I have this insurance policy, roadside assistance, so I had that happen. He got me running, went to AutoZone. Luckily, I had enough money to get a battery, and now I've been spending so much money on haunted houses that I'm broke. So all my savings, even though I don't have a savings account, but I like to keep extra money in the bank just in case an emergency happens like that. So I really need to, maybe I'll do DoorDash again, but I'm trying not to. I'm just going to try to do low, not spend too much on groceries. And yeah, I'm getting paid 5 times this month. It's November, so I want to try to get as much money as possible. It's almost Christmas shutdown. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna be off for over a week. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait. But yeah, this is my life update. Thanks guys for all the people who's commented and all the advice. Like I said, it's funny. People still reply to these old videos, and my life has changed so much. It's kind of funny. It's amusing. It's like you're replying to basically a different person. The single me was just like, my plans back then was so different than it is now. My life is different direction. I'm just like, self-improvement thing is over, honestly. It's just about living comfortably, living happily, and not letting myself get into the worst positions. and it'll be about getting a better job. I don't have my GED, so it's harder to. I have less confidence about what I'm able to get. Now I know a lot of y'all said, "Oh, you don't need a GED for certain like jobs, or you can lie about it." And it's just one of those things where it's like I don't want to risk it. And there's certain temp jobs that I thought about going, and it says will not hire on if you don't have your GED. Like you cannot switch from temp to full employee if you don't have your GED, and that scares the shit out of me. That could be a waste of time. So it's like, there's a lot of risk that I'm not able to take because I'm single. Well, single, like in terms of like support. Like my girlfriend doesn't live with me and stuff like that. So consider it like basically a single guy. I'm having to finance every step of the way. I can't just take a risk. When I get a new job, if I decided to get a job closer that ain't 40 minutes away, because I still live where when I was with my ex, and now I live further away, so I have to drive 40 minutes to work every day. If I got a job closer, that sounds great, but for one, am I going to be able to handle the job? And if I don't, I could get fired. And that scares me. Because I got to support myself. No one else is going to do it for me. I have to make sure I have money coming in at all times. I'm scared to death. I don't know the options. Getting a job is a lot harder right in this area. I'm not finding any decent jobs. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to go to the temp agencies and just call around and do stuff like that. But I'm not wanting to go from a full-time job to a temp job. That's the issue I'm having right now. It's like I'm not finding these warehouse jobs. That's not temps. So, all right, guys. I'm going to cut this off and continue watching Three Ninjas Knuckle Up. I went through my whole life not watching Knuckle Up. I've seen even the 4th movie with Hulk Hogan. I've never seen the 3rd movie. To this day, 30 years, I've never seen the 3rd movie. For some reason, it just never came on at the right time, on the right channel. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, guys. Later.